Hello, welcome to Wellness with Tammy Long, Certified Life Coach. Today's video, we will be discussing being overly critical. You may have heard the saying, what people say about you says more about them than it does about you. Criticism involves judging a situation or a person. It is subjective. We don't see things as they are. We see things the way we are. In this video, I wanted to talk about criticism. Not necessarily criticism, but more about being overly critical. Being overly critical subtracts value from another in order to affirm oneself. Overly critical people react by defending themselves through criticism that comes from an emotional fragility. It comes from an ego that feels constantly threatened. People who tend to be highly critical of others usually share these characteristics. They have little empathy for others and are unable to put themselves in the other person's shoes and understand their viewpoint or their emotional state. This lack of empathy can prevent them from realizing the damage that they caused by their criticism. They also continually compare themselves to others with the idea that they deserve better than the other person because in some way they are superior. Most critical people tend to believe that it is not possible to change and that success is due mostly on someone's skills and competency and not necessarily the effort that was involved. They often place great importance on the judgment of others, being quite concerned with social status and hierarchy. They develop perfectionist tendencies, fearing judgment from others, but hiding it behind the critical nature. There is a great deal of emotional fragility, a hyperreactive and extremely sensitive ego. Overly critical people may appear strong, and actually, all actuality, they are most fragile. Because they are so sensitive, they feel they have to protect themselves behind this thick armor of criticism. They also tend to react impulsively and criticize everything that they feel is threatening to them. Many people who are highly critical of others grew up in environments where they were constantly the target of negative and destructive criticism. They grew up being judged, feeling inadequate and insufficient. They learned to shield themselves behind the protective shield provided by criticism. It is not an excuse for their behavior, but it will help us to understand what is going on in their inner world. A mature and balanced person is at peace with himself and with the world and has no need to constantly criticize others. And so, the next time you meet someone who criticizes constantly, understand that they really need to reconcile with themselves. I hope you will use this information the next time you encounter a highly critical person or find yourself being highly critical. And as Don Miguel says in the Four Agreements, remember, be impeccable with your word and don't take anything personally.